A pilot is being called a hero for making sure a small plane wouldn't hurt anyone as it came crashing down in someone's front yard. This is when it burst into flames yesterday morning at Hillcrest Avenue. Our Nick Proto is live at the crash site where caution tape is still up this morning. Nick, what does it look like this morning compared to yesterday, and what do we know so far?
Well, Zaina, not a whole lot has changed in terms of what it looks like from yesterday. They've left the scene largely intact so that they can do their investigation. The NTSB wants to complete a thorough investigation, could take 24 to 36 hours, and then they'll start moving that plane away. The one piece they did move was the part that was up in a tree at this neighbor's house. But let me step out here so you can get a better look. Now that the sun's up a bit, you can see what's left of the plane over across the street. A lot of it has been burned up. You can see it's charred there, black, but that is what's left as the plane crashed in this yard on Belmont Drive and Hillcrest Avenue. But I want to show you what the scene looked a little bit like yesterday. So part of the plane was still stuck in the tree when we got here, and it was up there for most of the day, and it really put into perspective how much more tragic this could have been. The tree that the plane hit was just a few yards away from a house, and where the plane ended up crashing and catching fire was in the front yard of another house. So the NTSB got out here yesterday afternoon to start their investigation, and we caught up with them on what exactly they're looking for.
And we don't rule anything out on scene. We're here just to gather the facts and then put everything together at the end of the investigation.
Now, officials confirmed that the pilot was the only person on board that plane, and AU has confirmed that the pilot was Associate Director of Philanthropy Jason McKenzie. Now, our Audrey Dickherber talked to some people who knew him best.
Jason McKenzie was an experienced pilot with 800 flight hours under his belt, and people who knew him are still in disbelief.
I've known the McKenzie family for over 30 years. My wife and children and I came to Augusta in the 1980s, and my children were 5 years old and 3 years old, and so my son just a few years younger than Jason. So they quickly joined First Baptist Church, and we did too.
He watched Jason grow up and will remember the caring man Jason became.
He's the guy that sends us emails every week about who's sick, who has lost a loved one in their family. Don't forget to pray for, and that was Jason. He was encouraging everybody else to pray for somebody else, and now of course we're praying for his family.
Jason McKenzie also gave his time to Augusta University.
We ask that you join us in a moment of silence,
where he was Associate Director of Philanthropy. AU saying his passion for the university and athletics programs was unsurpassed. A man who loved his work, his church, and most of all, his family.
Life is precious, and you don't think about it. It could be gone in a moment. You know, I mean, I saw him Sunday, and you're gone in a moment.
Angie Jacobson lived with Jason and played golf with him in college and says he's someone he'll never forget.
When I think of Jason, you know, I think of his smile, and just he just was just such a nice, friendly, caring guy, and he always wanted to help.
Andy was hoping to bring his family to Augusta one day to meet Jason.
I'm just so bummed that I'm not going to be able to do that, because my kids would have loved that, and I would really like to meet his son, who's taking an interest in golf too.
A loss for people close to Jason and for the community.
We've lost a good guy. He he cared about other people, and you saw it in the way he related to us and to his church. Jason was a good guy. We're going to miss him.
And Fire Chief Antonio Burton was out here yesterday. He spoke a little bit at one point, and he credited McKenzie for being able to stay away from the houses. Wanted to just show you one more time. As we look over to my right, you can kind of see where the broken tree is. It might be behind those hanging branches, so you might not be able to see it too well, but that's where the plane originally hit, and then it crashed in this front yard over here across the street. Just a very narrow window, and we were told by one of the neighbors that they have a nursery up there on their top floor, and the tree that got hit was just yards away from that. So this could have been a much, much more tragic situation. But if you are heading out here this morning, again, Hillcrest Avenue, Belmont Drive, going to be blocked off today. NTSB says probably a 24 to 36 hour investigation, then they can start cleaning up that plane. But for right now, just a sad, eerie scene here in Augusta, Zaina.
Oh, it's just so sad, and it's just really incredible how he was able to miss that home and any homes and people on the ground, but certainly a man who is certainly missed by many. Thank you, Nick, for that.